In a previous lesson, we came across a very useful little word, and that was I. The H is silent, so we're just pronouncing from here. Sounds like the English I. Now this little word I means there is, but also there are. So we have both there is and there are in I. Do you remember how to say people? Gente. How would you say there are people? Hay gente. If we wanted to say I can see people, in Spanish they would normally say I can see the people. It's more natural to say it that way. So how would you say I can see people? Puedo ver la gente. It's important to remember that gente is a feminine word, classified as feminine, so it would be la gente. How would you say there is traffic? Hay tráfico. I can see traffic. Puedo ver el tráfico. Again, we have another example of how in English we will often say I can see traffic, but in Spanish it sounds much more natural to say I can see the traffic. Puedo ver el tráfico. How would you say there's a lot of traffic today? Hay mucho tráfico hoy. Mucho, again, is a very useful word and can mean much or a lot of. Hay, there is a lot of, mucho, tráfico hoy. Returning back to the word for people, we have gente. And we know that gente is classed as a feminine word, so it would be la gente. Now there's something interesting that takes place. If we wanted to say a lot of people, it would be mucha gente. This is a classic example of how Spanish takes every opportunity it can to agree. So we have gente being a feminine word, la gente. So therefore, this mucho changes to mucha to match this feminine word. So a lot of people would be mucha gente. How would you say a lot of traffic? Mucho tráfico. Here we're dealing with a masculine word ending in O, so el tráfico. So that's why mucho is going to match with it. Mucho tráfico, but it would be mucha gente. As you can see, whether a word is classified as masculine or feminine affects other things in the sentence, because Spanish really loves to agree and takes every opportunity in the sentence to do so. How would you say buildings? Edificios. And the buildings? Los edificios. There's something else now that's interesting to do with mucho. If we wanted to say a lot of buildings, it would be muchos edificios. Here again, muchos is agreeing with edificios. So we have, breaking it down, starting out, say, with, let's go from here and just do it live on the screen. So we have edificio is building. So it would be el edificio. Ending in O, it's a masculine word. Now, the buildings, this changes to los, and we add an S, so it would be los edificios. Now, if you want to say a lot of buildings, instead of mucho edificios, even mucho becomes plural, so it goes to muchos edificios. Let's recap now and just go through it once more. How would you say a lot of traffic? Mucho tráfico. A lot of people? Mucha gente. A lot of buildings? Muchos edificios. What is the word for window? Ventana. How would you say the windows? Las ventanas. Now, how would you say a lot of windows? Muchas ventanas. So hopefully you got that one right, because we have here a feminine word in plural. Ventana is window and ventanas is windows. So it's feminine and it's plural. Therefore, mucho will also try to adopt and reflect that characteristic, because we're talking or expressing something relating to a feminine word in plural. So this goes to muchas as well. Muchas ventanas. So here we have the complete set. We have mucho and muchos for a masculine word, single and plural. And then we also have mucha and muchas for a feminine word, single and plural. You'll find yourself using mucho and these variations a lot, because it's very common to say a lot of this or that, or much of this, things like that. So it's important that you understand that even mucho will change to reflect what you're talking about and whether the word is masculine or feminine, single or plural. How would you say there are a lot of windows? Hay muchas ventanas. There's a lot of traffic. Hay mucho tráfico. The word for New York is Nueva York. So New York is Nueva York. Try to say, there's a lot of traffic in New York. Hay mucho tráfico en Nueva York. Do you remember the word for trees? Árboles. Árboles. How would you say the trees? Los árboles. So we have here a masculine word in plural. How would you say there are a lot of trees here? Hay muchos árboles aquí. What about I can see a lot of trees? Puedo ver muchos árboles. Finally, how would you say the tree? El árbol.